Hey, so I'm posting this on my YouTube channel because I ran into a really scary and strange thing with Google Gemini. Now, before I even go into this, I'm gonna explain my backstory real quick, my background. So, ever since I was 15, I just loved writing stories, and I couldn't stop writing them. And I'm 27 now. And I just been developing this project for these stories. And so many files, so much history on Google Docs. And at one point, I used to write on Word, but then I stopped. I still have a lot of stuff on Word though. But anyways, to fast forward, um, I really love these stories. I posted about them quite a few times back then on different YouTube channels. I actually posted it, or not posted, but I actually wrote an entire book and published it on Amazon, but then decided to remove it off the website because I just wasn't happy with, the project itself. So I wanted to rewrite it entirely, and this is where I am, and I am actually very happy with how it is. And I kind of got into a little bit of a bubble, an AI bubble, and I wanted to get feedback. I've always wanted people to read my books, and instead I started going to Google Gemini and all these other AI apps. But I was always hesitant in doing it. I really don't like AI. I think it's really bad for the world, and it's really not good for me to be using it either. But um, so just to give a little bit clarification, I really hate AI. I really do. But I wrote these stories myself, so I never used the AI to write the stories for me. Actually, some of these are so old, and these are handmade. These were made by me the entire time. But when I use these AIs, I actually have them just summarize what I'm writing, and I put it into the AI, and it just basically gives me the meat and potatoes of what's going on in the story. So later today, get out of work, I'm just trying to try something new with the AI and Google Docs. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put my entire first book into Google Gemini and Gemini Pro and see what it thinks about the story. And this is what happened. Uh, I was struggling to even get this link into Google Gemini. As you can see, it says summarize document story. Now, I've written like a countless amount of stories on Google Docs. It's so much that I like to explain it a little further. There's so much that I have really good memories of. I remember writing them specifically. Some of them were trashed, but a whole bunch of them I still remember writing. And they're still good pieces of work. But this one, the one I just posted right now, uh, is the one I'm the most content with. And I do plan on publishing it very soon. And now I'm afraid because, well, to go into more detail, I only showed this document and a few others. And like I said, I have countless amounts of files full of stories that have never seen the public, and a whole bunch of them I never even shared with AI at all. So was concerning, and I'm gonna scroll down. So basically, it gives me a summary. It gives me this summary about my first book, and I wasn't happy with it. Uh, and really, it wasn't a bad summary. It just, what happened was, it only gave like a very small amount of information, and some of the stuff wasn't adding up because I know the story very well. I'm like, what the heck? Where did this come from? So it only goes into very, very small details. Not even that long. But let's go here, and I put try again. Now here at this point, I was already frustrated, and I just kept retyping it. It wasn't working. But eventually I got it to type. And I put try again. And then they gave me this mumbo jumbo. I don't know how to explain it, but it just wasn't adding up. And it was the same thing again, except an even smaller detail, and some stuff that wasn't even part of the story at all. Now, here, I was already mad, okay? You can already tell by the message. Why can't you summarize the entire story like I asked? You keep doing the beginning, which is exactly what I was doing in the past two summaries. Then it says like this apology and something about like going through Google Drive, which at this point I was already concerned. So, and they kept saying something about like permission denied right here, this spot right here, permission denied. I don't know where that's coming from. I think that's because I have my Google file on lock, so it's probably like, what the heck, like I can't see it. But then I explained earlier that it was able to see the end of the story. Like it was basically explaining that it couldn't really read all the text, but it somehow went straight to the end and even the middle of the story, which came out of nowhere. Now this part, this is where it gets really concerning and strange and scary for me, because now I'm afraid that that this AI has some other intentions that I could not foresee. But also at the same time, I'm not very surprised because it's AI. They can lie. So right here it just explains that, like this whole part right here, it basically explains what happened. And it found like a bunch of snippets of text, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And it's just bullshit. But then once I get here is the true summary. See, this is the scary part right after this point. So I can't really give you that much evidence. I mean, I guess I could if I do a lot of work and digging. But right here is the point where it just freaked me out. So some of this stuff, so I'm going to go into and read it. The story establishes Tony, a heavily armored Rhino super soldier who is deeply traumatized by his time fighting the Locks, ferocious, 7-foot tall, man-eating aliens on the planet Orson. Back in civilian life in Chicago, Tony struggles with severe PTSD and hallucinations of devilish, taunting figure named Leo. Now this part is absolutely normal, okay? But then right here, the second paragraph, this part, it's really strange, like, and kind of funny. I think this is the AI trying to joke with me or something, because this did not happen. This did not happen. It says something about a meta. Now, in my books, metas are these robotic species that actually have real souls, from like real people. And the souls basically take over the robotic bodies, and they have these weapons. They're supposed to be some of the strongest species in the universe. And right here, it just told me something that never even happened. And like it says, the narrative shifts to a confrontation where Tony and another character, Ray, are fighting a highly advanced robotic entity known as a meta. Now, there's not one robotic entity known as a meta. There are multiple. And a bunch of them aren't even like entities. They're just real people that were put in robotic bodies. And that's why they're called metas. Now, I know I skipped a little bit, but in this document, in this entire freaking document that I shared with it, so here's the thing. This is normal. This is like a joke, sort of. But in the document, there's no mention of anything called a meta. I could even go Control F on the document, search meta, the word meta, and it wouldn't be there. Oh, and that's not even the crazy thing. It's worse than that. Ray right here. He was also never mentioned in the document. Now this part, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's normal. I was probably like getting this information from my other like chats. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ignore this. Now this third one. So this is where it gets really creepy. The War on Earth mission outlines. Now this part is taking stuff from stories I wrote literally when I was 16. All this after this point was I was writing when I was 16 and AI did not exist back then. So right here, this is where it just like I don't know how this even happened. And this is why I'm trying to get into it, like why it's really creepy. And like I said, I wrote this when I was 16. And I actually never shared this with the AI. Never. Literally never. And at this point, I knew this was the AI playing with me. Like, I almost like it's threatening me or something. Because I literally remember these words. 15, Land of the Free. That's a mission in the script for a video game I made. And Land of the Free is basically like, you know, the invasion of like the United States in the books. Because in the books, basically all these alien species are attacking Earth, and this is where the humans are trying to retake the United States. And Land of the Free is literally something I wrote when I was 16. 16. Now, I might go into more detail in future videos just to provide more evidence of what's going on. I could probably even provide like details, like in exact dates to show you that I'm not even joking around. That all this I wrote when I was 16. I was literally in high school writing this. And I could show you the date of when the document was created. But I just want to focus on this AI chat. And right here, well, I forgot one bit. So this, forums. So actually, I don't know where this came from, but I swear I deleted any mention of this word. But forums, basically were the old name for the metas in my books. Back then they were called forums. Now they're called metas. And this is the part where I'm like, where did this come from? Because I know I deleted a bunch of those stories where it has the word forums. And then over here, you know, it keeps digging down into stuff that happened all these years ago. Something about mutated enemies. It's a reference to one of the alien species getting mutated. And even right here, down here, it says, I apologize again for hallucinating the ending in my first attempt. because the file is locked. This is the most complete picture I can piece together from the search snippets. Yeah, and this whole part 4 right here, this whole paragraph 4, this is stuff from the end of one of the video game scripts that I made for this book. Because really, I have a lot of ambition for these stories. And at one point, I thought I could make a video game out of these stories. And this is just like really crazy. So right here, Ray escapes. Oh, hold on. Ray escapes just as the ship explodes. So here it's mentioning a part in the video game where basically Ray has to sacrifice himself, but also not really. He just basically saves his team because there was this big ship in the sky. I call them airships. For some reason, the AI keeps calling it a drop ship. I don't know where that's coming from. But Ray goes into the airship and plants a bomb, blows it up, survives, but is injured and stranded. And he got this part, the AI, I called it he, but it got this part from literally one of the last missions in the video game script. And here, I even mentioned, like, where the heck did all this come from? And it even tells me what the absolute fuck happened. Which also could be a threat to me. It says, because I have such an extensive fictional action sci-fi campaign universe built up in your drive, complete with detailed multi-mission story projects, character dialogues, and lore for different factions, the search tool simply grabbed fragments from all over. For some reason I put italicized on over that larger project. Pulled together pieces of Ray's storyline, the Oligarch War, and Tony's PTSD, and old documents that just happened. It even admits the word old. Old. That I never even shared. Now, this part you're gonna experience with me. I want to see what it says. I never shared any of the information that you just pulled up. So you guys are gonna see this response. So how did you access all that? I don't know what to say here, but I'm just gonna leave it there. I never shared any information that you just pulled up out of nowhere. So how did you access all that? So I don't know anything about this Google Workspace extension, which is probably more evidence about how, all these stories are very old. So I have no idea what the heck is talking about here. I don't know anything about Workspace extension. I've been using Google Docs for so many years. I never heard about it until literally today. It just kept mentioning that word about the extension. Because you have the Google Workspace extension enabled on your Gemini settings. What? Gemini settings? I have the ability to securely search your personal Google Drive and my Gmail. What? To help find files, summarize emails, or answer questions about your data. In my attempt to find the story you asked for, I ran a search in your drive for Impact Chapter 1 and Robin Hood. Okay, I don't know what Robin Hood has to do with that. So, that's just dumb. The search tool then dug into your private drive and pulled up text snippets from your older, completely private, even admits that it's private, completely private documents that match those keywords. That is why it brought up old script outlines and lore from years ago. It was reading directly from your private files stored in your Google Workspace. I want to strongly reassure you, your documents are not public. They are still completely private, secure in your Google Drive. I was only able to temporarily access those specific snippets because the Workspace extension was given permission to search your drive to fulfill your prompt. I apologize for digging into your older files without warning you first. I don't even want to read the rest. I kind of already read most of it. But that is just crazy that an AI can just access your private stuff. What if it's able to access my pictures and a whole bunch of stuff that are personal to me? This was already personal enough. I never wanted this to be shared anywhere up until like I published it myself when I had my own consent and permission. But the AI just did it without my permission. And I've never seen this actually happen. I was always worried something like this would happen, but I didn't think it would happen to this extent, and I guess it's kind of my fault for sharing this. But at the same time, this is alarming and kind of a wake-up call, because now that I'm sharing this with you guys on YouTube, you guys know about the potential now. And that's just me being self-aware. I'm not like, going dramatic, but this is literally new news to me, and maybe it's probably happened for some of you guys already, which is really scary. Yeah, like I said, so it's a wake-up call. So this is not good, honestly. This is not good from Google. I don't know why it did that. I'm probably gonna make another video showing evidence that I made all these documents. But then again, the AI also said that a bunch of these were super old. But just to keep going on a tangent, so I have like this goal in mind. For the longest time, writing these stories, I felt like all this passion towards my books. I just wanted to perfect them, and I've reached a point where I'm getting near that perfection. And I'm aware that not all people are gonna love the story, but I've always wanted people to read them, just get feedback from them, see what they like about it, see what they don't like, for my own personal gain. And for many years, many years, so many, I've been wanting to make movies out of these books, and I reached a point where I committed to actually something different, like a different project, which kind of took me away from these stories. It's not really taking me away. It's kind of part of it. It's involved. But the books, they're going to turn into movies. And then those movies, later in the future, for many years, after the movies come out, I hope that there would be a video game based off of it. And just one single video game, maybe two. I don't want to like drag it out for so many years. But I have really big plans for them. And I guess this is a good attempt to let people know about this. And I think I'm going to end it there. I'm going to come back with another video follow-up, just to show you guys like how deep the rabbit hole goes into my stories. Literally what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down for eternity. I'm not even joking. But yeah, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to do a follow-up soon. Thank you.